The March 25th, 2019 meeting of the Human Services Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mrs. Conley? Here. Mrs. Draws excused. Ms. Harris? Here. Mr. Lightfoot? Here. Mr. Michike? Here. Mr. Moyle? Here. Ms. Taylor? Here. Mr. Wilt? Here. Chairman Zale?
I am here.
President Carbone?
Here. Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
There is not.
Is there anyone present who has not signed up to speak who would like to address the committee at this time? Seeing none. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. You have the February 26, 2019 minutes before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. Next item on the agenda is new business. Mr. Clerk.
Referral 19-0078.
Moved by Legislator Taylor, seconded by Legislator Conley. Are there any questions on this matter? Legislator Wilt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through the chair, if I'm reading this referral correctly, are we approving contracts for preschool special education services with the vendors listed in the attachment? Is that correct?
Through the chair, that is partially correct. The authorization is to contract for pre-K special education services, and those are the vendors as they stand at this time.
Okay, and through the chair, separate from this referral, we have heard that there will be an across-the-board rate increase of 15% for the vendors in these contracts. Is that correct? And through the chair, can you explain a little bit about how the authorization from this referral will translate into rate increase for preschool special education vendors?
Legislator Wilt, before we get too far down that road, we're approving contracts. So I think that we need to stick to, that topic, if you don't mind.
So we don't want to know what the referral will translate into?
At this time, Legislator Wilt, I don't mean to interrupt, we're trying to approve of contracts and not necessarily rate increases or increases that amount to a specific rate or not.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Legislator Taylor.
Yes, through the chair, can you talk a little bit about how these vendors applied to the county to be added as a contractor for the preschool special education program?
Through the chair, anybody who's interested to become a vendor has to apply through a standard process that's actually through the state. And then once they're approved with the contract, then they can enter into the agreement with us to get reimbursed.
Thank you. And through the chair, could you explain the process if an additional vendor wanted to be added to the referral? For example, if a new contractor moved into our community after the referral went through?
Through the chair, they would follow the same process, and assuming they're approved, then they could join on as an approved vendor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Are there any other questions? Legislator Conley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you to the administration. Can I just ask, so the referral doesn't specify that there's a 15% increase in the contracts. Can you explain, are we authorizing the county to contract with agencies, and then within that contract we're authorizing the county to increase the fees approximately 15%?
Through the chair, this referral seeks the ledge authority and approval of entering the contracts at the agreed-upon appropriation. The rates are set by the agreement signed between the county and the providers, and it is, publicly been stated that the county will be increasing the rates by 15% across the board, but it's not a matter of the ledge setting those rates. You're providing the appropriation and the funds necessary to effect that, and the authorization to enter into the contract with the providers.
Thank you. And through the chair, I was wondering if you could describe the increase in occupational therapy and physical therapy and speech therapy. Those are the three therapies that speakers have spoken to us about most often.
Mr. Chairman, with respect to, I'll call them the big three, OT, PT, and speech. In essence, we mathematically calculated an increase based on today's current rate, and each of those therapies today is reimbursed at the rate of $52. So we expanded that by upwards of 15% and then rounded up to the next dollar amount. So those particular three therapies today are $52 per half hour of service. Each of those will be increasing to $60 per half hour of service.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And through the chair, I wanted to ask, I had gotten some information come up this afternoon regarding Legislator Mafucci's questions on this referral, and I was wondering if it's possible to get a brief summary in regards to the appropriation level remaining the same even though the rate will be increased.
Mr. Chairman, Department of Public Health and Finance worked together on trying to, in the best way possible, project what these rate increases may present in terms of increased spending on the county. At this time, we believe a best guess is an increase in expenditures somewhere in the neighborhood of $600,000 to $800,000. At this time, both Departments of Public Health and Finance feel that we have sufficient appropriations as approved at the December 2018 legislative meeting to accommodate these rate increases without not yet adjusting the overall level of appropriations. If, Mr. Chairman, our estimates prove to be shy of the actual increase in expenditures, we will have the opportunity to come before the legislative body to either seek additional appropriations at some point in the year, or we may be able to go long enough to include in a fourth quarter reallocation of appropriations that we tend to bring before this body in November or December.
Thank you. And Mr. Chairman, through the chair, does administration have a written structure, the rate structure? Is it in writing anywhere? Can we get a copy of it?
Through the chair, normally those rates would be available on the New York State website. It's a document that we provide to them. It's a spreadsheet that they then turn around and make publicly available. However, in the regular course of the legislative responses that we provide before full edge, we'll include the spreadsheet inside our response pack.
Thank you very much. Lastly, I just wanted to say that I think that this is excellent news. It's great for the children of Monroe County. And I wanted to reiterate that I'm pleased to be able to vote in favor of this referral. Thank you.
Thank you, legislators. Any other discussion on this item? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Referral 19-0079.
Moved by legislator Conley, seconded by President Carbone. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? There being no other matters, the March 26, 2019 meeting of the Human Services Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Human Services Committee will be held Tuesday, April 23, 2019 at 5:30 p.m. Thank you.